Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at rotations. That's part of the transformations family. I've taken the questions from Corbett Maths, so you can see here is the link if you want to go and get the link for yourself and download the PDFs. There are also videos attached to this that you can watch as well that may help. What I intend to do is do one question and let you have a go at the other ones. Okay, so here goes. So we're asked in this question here to rotate shape A clockwise about P. Now, first of all, we need to understand clockwise is going to the right from the 0 point here, going to the right, whereas anti-clockwise would be going to the left. So remember that. Now, you're going to need a bit of tracing paper for this. So the first thing you'll do is you'll get your tracing paper. Notice I've got an X here, so I've got my tracing paper. I'm going to put the cross over the cross at P. So there we go. So the cross goes over the cross at P. Once you've done that, what you've got to do now is draw shape A in. Okay, so here it goes. I'm just going to draw shape A in there. So I'm going to copy over shape A. Okay, there we go. So I've copied shape A. And now what we can do is we can rotate 90 degrees clockwise about P. To ensure that we go 90 degrees, what we really ought to do is put an arrow on this. Now, I've got to make sure I'm going from the top. So that's my 0 degrees point. Okay, 0 degrees. Now, if I was going to turn 90 degrees, that arrow would be pointing over here. So that's a quarter of a turn. So what I do now is rotate this 90 degrees about that point clockwise and see where that ends up. Oops, let's put that back. Okay, here we go. So rotate it. Look at your arrow. Make sure the arrow goes a quarter turn. There we go. Now you can see that shape A goes here. So what you'd have to do then is move the paper and draw that using your ruler under the sheet. So here goes. So I've moved the tracing paper, and if you look here, I've redrawn it where it should be. Let's just show you again. There's the tracing paper on top, so you can see where it is, and I've labelled it A dash. Okay, what you need to do now is press pause and have a go at B and C. When you're ready to see the answers, press play. Okay, so here are the answers to B and C. Hope you got those right. Right, so look at question D. First thing we do is we make sure that the tracing paper is on the diagram with the cross over the point of the cross for P. Now when you're rotating, make sure you put your pencil in here so that the paper rotates about that point. That's really important. Like before, we're going to sketch this diagram and we're going to put the 0 on it. So quick sketch to go over. Put your arrow on for the 0 point. Now we're going to rotate 180 degrees. Notice on this one it didn't say clockwise or anti-clockwise. That's because 180 degrees going clockwise will end up at the same point as if you went anti-clockwise. So it doesn't matter which way around you go. Okay, so we rotate this clockwise 180, my apologies, we rotate this 180 degrees. If I go clockwise 180, that would arrow be pointing all the way down, it would end up here. If I went anti-clockwise, it would be exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. So the arrow now is pointing to the bottom. Oops, let's try that again. It's a bit neater. There we go, it should be there. So now what I do is underneath this, I draw this in using a pen and a ruler, making sure it's neat. So now you can see I've drawn this one in, I've labelled it D dash. Let's just do a quick check, put the tracing paper back on. Oh, I'm in the wrong position. So straight away, I can see that I've put this in the wrong position, so I need to move it down here. That's why we need to do the second check. Okay, so make sure you do that before you go too far with it. So let's move this to where we think it should be. Okay, I think it should be there. And let's just do a double check again, put the tracing paper back on. Ah, much better. Okay, so it's your turn. Press pause and have a go at E and F. When you're ready to see the answers, just press play. Okay, so here is ENF. Again, anti-clockwise, so you're going to the left in this case. So going to the left, that means that goes up that way. And this is a rotate 180, therefore it doesn't matter whether you go clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, for this question it says rotate each shape below using the origin 0, 0 as the centre of rotation. So you'll notice you've got an axis. Well, 0, 0 is just this point here. The same with this one here, this point here. So all you're going to do now is rotate about that point for each one. It's exactly the same as before. Now you've got the origin, the 0, 0 point. You just put your tracing paper on and rotate about that point. So here goes. Place your tracing paper over the cross, like before, no different. Sketch in the shape. So here goes, just sketching the shape. And then you're going to rotate your paper, in this case 180 degrees. Again, doesn't matter whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise. So like before, I've put the arrow on, and now we rotate this about the origin, that point there, 180 degrees. So that goes all the way around to the bottom, and now you can see the shape should be over here. So all I've got to do now is draw that shape in like before. Okay, I'll do that in a second. What I want you to do now is I want you to have a go at questions B and C, please. So press pause, have a go, and when you're ready for the answers, press play. Okay, so here are your answers. Hopefully you got the same as me. This one here, D, is exactly the same. So what I'll start you off. You will put your tracing paper on the diagram, make sure the cross goes over the cross. Again, you'll sketch it in like you did before, nothing different. So sketch over it. Mark the north point, and then what you'll do is you're going to rotate this one 90 degrees clockwise, so you're going that way 90 degrees. So I'll let you do that. So now you can do D, E and F. So just press pause, have a go, and when you're ready for the answers, press play. Here are the answers. For question 3 we do the same thing. The only difference here now is that you're not rotating about the origin, 0, 0. You're going to rotate about the given points. So in this case we're going to rotate about 0, 1. So north cross 1 up, so we put a cross there. And in this case we're going to rotate about -1, -2, -1, -2. So you're going to rotate your shape about there. And finally this one is about 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. So like before, put your tracing paper over the cross. So now you've identified the point, over the cross, draw in the shape. So I'll just quickly sketch in that shape, like so. Look at which direction you're going to rotate. In this case it's anti-clockwise. Look at the angle of rotation. In this case it's 90 degrees. That's a quarter of a turn to the left. So you would need to turn that 90 degrees to the left. Okay, so here goes, rotating this 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So that goes anti-clockwise is that way, 90 degrees is a quarter of a turn, and there we go. You would draw in your shape here, label that A dash, okay. Press pause, have a go at B and C, and then when you're ready for the answers, just press play. So here are the answers. Here are 6 more for you to have a go at. If you got ABC correct, then great, go ahead with these. If you didn't get ABC correct, please go back a step and re-look at that before you do these questions. So press pause, have a go, and when you're ready to see the answers, press play. Okay, here are your answers. Just be careful to check these and make sure they're accurate and they rotate about those points. Okay, for question 4, you're going to describe the single transformation. That means you're going to tell us what rotation in this case took place to move shape A onto shape B. So for this one you'll see there's 2 diagrams on each of these. So you're going to say, how do I get shape A onto shape B? Clearly it's a rotation at the moment, so that's part of our words. So we'll say something like rotate A 90 degrees clockwise about point and whatever that point is. So we need to find that point. To do that, you put your tracing paper on, or your shape. I'm going to draw over A because it's A that we're actually rotating. Okay, we test different points. Now I start with the origin here, so I want to test the rotation about that direction there, about that point there. I need to put on the 90 degrees so I can see how much of a turn I've taken. In this case, I'm going to go to the right, which means I'm going clockwise. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate this to see whether shape A actually does fit onto shape B. Rotating about the origin, and it does. So now on that one there, I need to describe this. So I would say rotate shape A 90 degrees clockwise about point, in this case 0, 0. So I've just neatened this up. It's your turn now to have a go. So place your tracing paper over part B. Start with the origin here and see whether A traces onto B. If it doesn't, try a different point for the rotation. And if that doesn't work, try a different point for the rotation. Keep trying until you find the right point where A maps onto B. So when you're ready, just press pause, have a go, and when you want the answers, just press play. Okay, so here are the answers.